Mrs. Agatha Trumbull's rule was simple. No student could be late to a music recital, not even by a second. If you were automatically disqualified and no refund of the $100 entry fee. But today, the rule would be tested on her. The rule was as follows. All students were required to arrive in the auditorium no later than 5:58 p.m. for the 6 p.m. recital. 2 minutes was considered acceptable buffer time, as the auditorium doors closed promptly at the hour. First, there was young Barry Thompson, who arrived at 6 and 3 seconds. Mrs. Trumbull's exact words were, "Barry, you are 3 seconds late. Disqualified, no refund." Next came Sarah Miller, who arrived at 6 and 17 seconds. 16 seconds late. Mrs. Trumbull stated, "Sarah, you are demonstrating a blatant disregard for the rules. No performance, no refund." Mrs. Trumbull's behavior was an example of the fundamental attribution error, judging others based on their actions while overlooking situational factors. I was performing the second piece of the evening, and I was terrified. My own entry fee had been $100, and I had spent 2 months preparing my piece. A friend had volunteered to record my performance. I started to arrive at 5 p.m., an hour and a half early, just to be safe. I sat in the front row, recording Mrs. Trumbull's arrival time, and then any other student arrivals with my phone camera. Every 15 minutes I would step outside, checking the time on the auditorium clock to make sure it was correct. 5:45 p.m., 5:50 p.m., 5:55 p.m. The auditorium began to fill with parents waiting expectantly. 5:58 p.m. I checked my watch again. Where was Mrs. Trumbull? 6 p.m., no sign of her. The audience began to murmur. 6:02 p.m., still nothing. My heart pounded in my chest. What if she's late? Would she disqualify us all? Finally, at 6:07 p.m., Mrs. Trumbull rushed in, breathless. "I am so terribly sorry," she said, flustered. "I had a flat tire, and the repair took longer than expected." I stood calmly. "Mrs. Trumbull," I said, "I believe the rules are very clear. Section 3, subsection B states that all participants, including the event organizer, must arrive by 5:58 p.m. You are 7 minutes late." My classmates began to pull out their phones, documenting her arrival time. Just then, Mr. Henderson, the school principal, arrived. He surveyed the scene, then looked directly at Mrs. Trumbull. "Agatha," he said, "I have reviewed the video evidence. Your tardiness is undeniable. I am afraid you are disqualified and the school will refund all entry fees." Mrs. Trumbull stood, stunned. This was a clear example of the reciprocity principle, when the consequences of her own actions were applied to her.